So at the end of last season, we added a few new faces to the Hallowed Ground Outdoors team, and two of those guys were Bo Parker and Scott Mensing. And Bo and Scott were no strangers to filming, and we noticed right away that these were two guys who could get it done in front of and behind the camera. The more I started to talk to them and learn about them and learn a little bit more about their values and who they are as husbands and fathers, the more we realized that they were just a perfect fit for what we're all about. We're excited to have them as part of the Hallowed Ground Outdoors team, and really excited to see what they would produce this fall.
The essence of who we are and the realities in which we stand are evidence of things unseen. And the individual frames of our life that exist between the beginning and the end are influenced with purpose. They are the shadows of the substance. They are the moments that are leading us to hallowed ground.
Six and a half years ago, I was on a local whitetail forum over lunch and read an article about a guy, Bo Jangles, that was moving up from Georgia to the Kansas City area to hunt whitetail.
November of 2007, I took my first trip ever to the Midwest and absolutely loved it. I grew up hunting in southeast Georgia where our deer are literally, a big deer is 100 pounds on the hoof. And I came out in the Midwest, first time out hunting Missouri, and just fell in love. And I knew the type of person I am that I just wasn't going to be able to live without hunting the Midwest every year. So while I was out on that trip, I actually scheduled a couple of interviews and got offered some jobs and wound up working for the same company that Scott worked for. And my first trip out, to look for a house to rent, Scott and I hooked up, and we've been great friends ever since.
You know, we've killed a lot of big deer together. We've managed some farms great to see their maximum potential come through. We're best buds. We do everything together. Our families hang out together. I just couldn't ask for a better friend out of Bo.
So about 5 years ago, Scott and I, we've been hunting together quite a bit, and we decided to get pretty serious about filming. So we bought our first professional video camera and really immersed ourselves in that. Part of filming is watching other people's footage and seeing what they do well and learning from that. And then also, I mean, I never would have started filming if I didn't enjoy watching a good hunting show. And my wife Sarah and I watch a few together. And after watching Hallowed Ground for a season or two, I reached out to Joe, shot him an email, more than anything just to say, hey, I'm a fan and I love what you guys are doing, keep it up.
This is a show that really hits our values at home, and you know, it's what we want to be part of.
And Joe and I kind of developed a friendship there, and wound up sending him some of our footage, sending an application, and you know, he gave me a call May of last year and said, hey, you guys are in, and you know, we joined up, and we're extremely excited to be joining forces with such a talented group.
Man, the relationship has just been awesome.
When I first started getting emails from Bo, the first thing that came to my mind was the last thing that we need are more guys from Missouri. But as soon as they started sending their footage, we realized instantly that these guys could get it done. And we were just incredibly excited that they wanted to be a part of Hallowed Ground Outdoors, and we're more than happy to facilitate that.
Facilitate?
Facilitate? I never said that word in my life.
So why start now?
I don't know. Okay.
This episode brought to you by Bloodsport Archery, 100% carbon, hand-sorted premium arrows.
I demand the best. In a game of inches, when the smallest of imperfections can mean the difference between success and failure, I feel confident knowing that every QAD Ultra Rest has been designed, manufactured, and assembled right here on American soil. With unparalleled precision and uncompromised quality, the Ultra Rest is more than a piece of equipment. It's part of who we are. I shoot the Ultra Rest, America's Rest, only by Quality Archery Designs.
The new Icon trail camera line has a camera for every hunter, completely redesigned and 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Icon trail cameras has you covered no matter the situation. Icon trail cameras, fuel the addiction.
Bo and I live just north of Kansas City, and the nice thing about living on the Kansas-Missouri border is, one, we get our resident tags in Missouri, but non-resident tags in Kansas are relatively easy to come by. And we've got 3 good farms in Missouri, but we've got 2 awesome farms in Kansas. The first farm we ever got, we call it the Lynn 80, and it's just a small 80-acre farm, nothing but CRP and a couple small draws. But after 5 years of solid food plots, QDM, and just sticking to our game plan, it's literally one of the, I could probably easily say it's one of the best 80 acres in the county. We have more mature deer than I've ever seen on any other farm. And the really nice thing about Kansas is you can hunt early season.
So for us, that early season, preseason prep is key.
We want to be successful in the early season. We have to put our work in during the summer.
I feel like one of the keys to a successful food plot program is having variety. A balanced food plot program is the key because you want to keep deer on the farm year-round. And that's one of the great things about Evolve is they've got such a huge selection of seeds, a plethora of both annuals and perennial crops that you can really depend on, and they're going to keep those deer in there on the farm, in the plot all year because there's always something that's kind of coming in. Pro-grade, rack force, buck and oats, and then 7-card stud, which is a mixture of pretty much all those seeds with the addition of brassicas. So for us, Evolve was just a great company to have as a sponsor because they've got something that met every single one of our needs and then some.
Well, it is October. I wish it was October. Here it is, the 31st of August, and we are finishing up some of our fall food plots, and we are standing in a little honey hole that we put in over the last week or so. We're on the middle of a big ridge. We've got pro-grays in here, we've got buck and oats in here, and these deer should be hammering it here in a couple weeks. We've actually got thunder rolling in behind us. It's perfect. And hopefully here in a couple weeks for opener, we'll be ready to go. With joining Hallowed Ground, we were fortunate to have a great list of sponsors to work with. And one of them being Athens and the new Krios bow.
4 days before the season opened, we get our bows in the mail, shipped to us, and they're bare bows. Athens did a great job getting cranked out, and Scott and I looked at them, we got serial numbers 1 and 2. We knew what day that they were going to be arriving, so we'd already called and made an appointment with Mike Carter, also known as Crackers, up in St. Joseph, Missouri. Went up there that morning. He opened up his shop early, set our bows up, and man, they're just the sweetest shooting bows that either of us has ever shot. Both of our hunting arrows were chrono in the 320s. Scott's was actually almost 330, which is just blazing fast with a hunting arrow.
So finally, here we are, getting closer and closer to the middle of September. Everything's done, food plots are growing great, bows are sighted in and set up, and the season is looking to start off with a bang.
This episode of Hallowed Ground Outdoors is brought to you by Quality Archery Designs. Focus on the shot. We'll take care of the rest. Tinks. Industry-leading lures and attractants. Non-typical wildlife solutions. Protect your plot with a hot zone deer exposure system. Night muzzle loaders. Power, style, safety, and accuracy. Hoyman's extendable premium tree saws. Evolved Harvest. Grow more groceries per acre. Lakewood Products, extreme cases for the sportsman. Wild Game Innovations, nutrition, attraction, action. This is the Midwest, the heartland. A place where hard work has collided with innovation for decades. The spirit that's driven men and women forward for generations is the same spirit that drives us today. People ask from year to year if we're building a new bow, and we'd rather say we're building a bow that's better. We are Athens, and it's not about being the biggest, it's about building the best.
A mature buck can detect an imposter at 400 yards, so why take a chance with any old scent? Tinks Hot Shots eliminates problems found with ordinary aerosol bombs. Its bag and can system separates the scent from the propellant, so the scent is not diluted or contaminated with other chemicals. While aerosols may contain as little as 33% lure, Tinks Hot Shots spray 100% pure scent, 100% of the time. Tinks Hot Shot. Don't bomb your hunt.
Hallowed Ground Outdoors is brought to you by Dave Smith Decoys, the highest quality decoys on the market, made in the USA.
We religiously run trail cameras. We've got 15 to 20 of them. We've got them on every farm. We try to spread them out as much as possible to try to get a true idea of, one, who's living on the farm, and try to get an early season pattern to them. On the 80 in particular, we had a bachelor group of 4 bucks, all of them shooters, and they were running between 2 particular plots every morning and every evening, either on their way to bed or on their way to feed in the egg fields. And using the Deer Lab software, we were able to kind of statistically look at what times they were coming in, what times they're leaving, moon phases, weather conditions, and we actually figured out we couldn't hunt those bucks where we wanted to. We would not be able to get into these plots early enough unless we slept in them to get a crack on these deer. So we kind of had to put a little bit of a different game plan together. So the day before Kansas opener, we ran down, checked cards one last time, and sure enough, this bachelor group was still on the exact same pattern, same time, same food plot, same 4 bucks. And we had an Evolved Harvest buck and oats plot in between the 2 primary plots in their bedding area. and it just set itself up perfect for an opening morning hunt.
Scott and I are probably a little bit different than most. I mean, most guys that hunt they're chomping at the bit to get out there, but both of us love filming so much that it's almost an argument of who gets to run the camera first. So we kind of flipped a coin or drew straws or something, and I got selected first to hunt in Missouri, and that meant Scott had the first crack at those Kansas bucks. We felt really confident that we were going to get a shot at one in those first 2 or 3 days of the season.
September 16th. Bo and I are here in Kansas for the opener of the archery season and the muzzleloader season. Thankfully, we've got the new Athens Krios bows out today, and we're going after our #1 hit list buck on this Kansas farm. He's a buck we've got quite a bit of history with. We named him Jigsaw, and he's a 5-year-old that has been on one heck of a pattern. He lost his velvet here a few weeks ago, but he's been coming through an alfalfa plot and then through this plot that hasn't grown up yet. There he is.
This segment's brought to you by the Deadshot Tree Pod from Caldwell, fully adjustable to support firearms or crossbows, leaving you with hands-free mobility. Caldwell's Deadshot Tree Pod, true bench rest accuracy from your tree stand.
Literally 30 minutes into the Kansas opener, Triple Crown, one of the bigger bucks that was in the bachelor group steps out from the CRP. He was coming down a mowed trail into this buck and oats plot, and sure enough, he stops right where we sprayed some Tinks sweet weed. He stayed there for a few moments and then finally stepped right into our shooting lane at 18 yards. After the shot, we were just ecstatic. One, we couldn't believe that our plan actually worked, and here we put a buck down within 30 minutes of opening light, opening day, and after some high fives and hugs, I kind of am feeling a little bad because now I'm a permanent cameraman for the next 4 months in Kansas.
Opening day. First buck with the Creos, and he got smoked.
Made the comment plenty of times before, you see these guys killing these deer on opening day that they had on a pattern, and we couldn't believe that it had finally come together. And it's just an awesome experience to share with one of your best buddies and knowing that all that hard work finally paid off.
Oh man, that's so awesome.
Those veins are just solid red, and man, we looked like we had a good double lung, maybe even caught part of a heart, but these Exodus, we're hoping that he's laying right down over here. We couldn't hear him crash with all the wind blowing today, but man, we're excited. Let's go get our hands on that guy. Got him.
So 30 minutes in, Scott's tagged out in Kansas. Couldn't ask for a better way to start the season, or for that matter, a better way to start our relationship with Hallowed Ground.
Both Bo and I are family men. We both have full-time jobs and busy lives here in Missouri, and being able to get a buck down opening day in Kansas just relieves so much pressure, not only for our families, but Hallowed Ground knew the type of team that they had picked up. Seeing all that hard work in the winter and the summer and all the previous years finally paying off was really rewarding.
Well, this old truck takes me down this gravel road, and as the dust all settles, I find myself at home, past the county line to a promised land, to an old oak tree and an old deer stand. It's a place where I've seen my maker's face, and where I'm born again as sunrise by his amazing grace. Peace and a purpose I have found in this sanctuary, my hallowed ground. And I am standing on this hallowed ground, where I was born, and it's where they lay me down. If anybody asks where I can be found, you tell them I'll be right here on this hallowed ground. Yeah, I'll be right here on this hallowed ground. Yeah, I'll be standing on this hallowed ground.
Closed captioning is provided by FlexTone Deer Calls. No matter what the deer vocalization you need to produce, FlexTone has you covered. FlexTone Game Calls, designed by nature, FlexTone engineered.